Hey everyone, this is Matthew before the camera again, and I see you all been quite active for the DG580 giveaway contest, so I think I might reward you guys with a test on this Pipo P4 tablet. And actually we've done already a test on a similar model, which is the Pipo P1 on our French speaking channel, so you might want to check that out on our French speaking channel. So in terms of specification, these two are not that different from each other. The only difference that it has, the biggest difference, is the size. So the P4 is a tablet of 8.9 inch. Sorry. So for the P1, that goes up to a 9.7 inch. And speaking of the resolution of this P4, we have a 1920 by 1200, which is quite comfortable for its size. And speaking of the chipset, they both adapt the recent generation of Rockchip, which is the RK3288, a quad-core processor with the clock speed up to 1.8 gigahertz. So that sounds pretty awesome. Okay, let's see what's written on the box. So right here, on this corner, we also have the dual charge logo, which says you may also charge the tablet by connecting the DC charger and the micro USB charger at the same time to boost up the charging speed. We'll talk about that later. And right here we have the Android 4.4.2 KitKat. Alright, back here, there's nothing much to talk about, frankly. The model for this test will be a 16 gigabytes of RAM version, and we have a black edition of this tablet. Alright, let's see what it says right here. It has 4K video capabilities. We'll look into that later. And also GPS. That's what I want to know too. But frankly, I don't expect much from the GPS from all the Chinese phones or tablets. Frankly, I never had a positive experience with the GPS. So, enough talk. Let's open up and see what's inside. Alright, as you can see right here, the box is always separated by two layers. The first being used for stocking the tablet itself, and also the warranty card right here. And for the second layer, we have all the accessories. And first off, the OTG cable right here, and then an earphone. And this one, I suppose it must be the micro USB cable, but I'm not gonna open it up because this package is sealed. And then we have the QC certificate, and then lastly the DC charger. So I'm not gonna go over all this. We're gonna rush directly onto the tablet. Alright, let's take a look at this Pipo P4 right here. So frankly, in terms of design, I don't see much change right here because we always have the same format. First off, we have this dark color metal back in here in aluminum. So this is pretty much the major selling point in terms of design for every single Pipo tablet. And also we have the plastic handle on both sides of this back. But what's not so cool about these two handles is that there's no anti-slip design like they did for their older models. So I don't understand why they have abandoned such great tradition for their tablet. But anyway, that's up to debate. I would like to hear what you think about this in the description right below. So right here, let's check out the extension ports. So first off, we have the DC charging port right here, accompanied by a 3.5 jack. Also right here, we have a cover, which seems quite tough to get rid of. Alright. So in here, we have a micro USB port and HDMI port, and on top of the HDMI we have a micro SD slot right here. So this might be a good design, but anyway, I don't think this is pretty convenient. First off, it's just kind of hard to get rid of. And going on with the microphone right here, and also the volume button plus the power button. And just a few millimeters away, we have the camera, which is 8 megapixels, plus its flash, which is kind of small. I wish it was a double flash, but anyway, that's a tablet, not a smartphone, so people won't care that much about the camera anyway. So right here we also have the reset button on its back. Well, very discreet. So anyway, in terms of design, it's pretty conservative. There's no radical change in terms of concept, but anyway, it stays always ergonomical as always. I think this is pretty much very comfortable for everyone to hold on, for both horizontally or portrait mode. So it is what it is in terms of design. So moving on to the system. Alright, talking about the operating system right here, if you have already seen my video of the Pipo P1, you might want to skip this part because there's just no different at all. In terms of reactivity, there doesn't seem to be any problem. There's one thing I would like to point out before we go on further with this tablet, is that the Android version, there seems to be a little bit mixed up, because on the box it says it's 4.4.2, but right here it says it's 4.4.4. Well, obviously there's a mix up, but anyway, bigger numbers are usually better, isn't it? And also for special features, we have the multi-window function, which can come in pretty handy in some cases. So right here, I'm going to demonstrate to y'all how this is done. So right here, I'm going to open up to 4 windows, and I tap on multi. So right here, it displays up to 4 screens at once. So this is pretty much a productivity thing. But anyway, as you can see right here, it's starting to lag. The system is being dragged down by this function. So I doubt if this one will really help in everyday usage. Moving on with the setting page, right here we also have the HDMI configuration, which means you can choose the resolution and the refresh rate for the output HDMI function. So this is quite practical. And also this is the soft key for the screenshots right here. You might also want to activate it, so it appears right here. So anyway, these are the special features of the Pipo tablet we're talking about. And in terms of the screen, I should say, well, this is not as good as I expected, but anyway, we haven't peeled off the protective film right here, so I can't say much about it. But anyway, Pipo is rather well established as a Chinese tablet brand, so don't you worry about it too much. So next we will move on to the benchmark. Okay, moving on with the benchmark. So what does Antutu X has to say about this one? We have a total score of 41,219, which is slightly lower than that of the Pipo P1. So it looks like that the difference in terms of screen size and resolution does not make a big difference in terms of performance. At least that's what Antutu X has to say. And in terms of details, well, we have a pretty scary score for multitask, which is 11,524. And going all the way down, we have a 3D graphics score of 8,688, so which is in the generic resolution. So this is quite impressive. But anyway, we're gonna take a look at the real performance in some serious 3D benchmark like 3D Mark. So in 3D Mark, we have this mighty Pipo P4 that tells us that iStone HD is for pussies. So obviously, its capacity far surpassed the requirements of the iStorm HD, so we turn to more demanding tests such as the iStorm Extreme or iStorm Unlimited. Funny thing is, in iStorm Extreme we have a total score of 7,000 something, whereas in the Unlimited edition we have a 12,000 something as total score. So that's kind of abnormal, I think, because normally the Extreme edition is supposed to be in full HD resolution, which is less demanding than the Unlimited edition. But anyway, maybe there has been a lack of compatibility with the full HD resolution. And also I would like to point out that in the Extreme test, the average FPS is lower than that in the Unlimited editions. So that's something new to me. This is my first time to see such a test results. But anyway, in terms of 3D graphic performance, this Pipo P4 handles it well. Okay, we have to take a look at the all the sensors right here in Z device. So we start with the accelerometers. Well, there shouldn't be any problem because this is the very basic stuff for tablet. And also gyroscope. Well, initiation seems a little bit slow, but in terms of functionality, this seems okay. And moving on with the gravity sensor. Well, it works just fine, I think. Anyway, in terms of the sensors right here, we have quite a complete set for a multimedia tablet. So right here we also have the line acceleration, which is working just fine, and also the rotation vector. Well, seems fine. And for the compass, yeah, we have to turn it 360 degrees a little bit to see if there's any anomaly. Well, at least not this time. So I guess that spells right for the compass. Oh, talking about GPS, there's another story. So let me show you a screen capture, a screenshot that I did on the GPU test. So practically we've spent a little bit more than 100 seconds for the first fix with only 7 satellites detected and 4 satellites connected. There's got to be a problem in terms of connectivity to satellite in my region, but also it says something about the GPS of this tablet. Anyway, my smartphone does way better than this. And next is the 4K video test. Anyway, what's the point in playing 4K video on a screen that is less than 4K in terms of resolution? Anyway, I'm just keep my mouth shut and see. At least we will see how it handles this very demanding video format. So we take a 4K video in MP4 format and we choose MX player. So let's check out. Oh, by the way, I didn't peel off the protection, the protective film right here, so it might look a little bit funny. But anyway, I should say that the screen has shown its value in 4K videos. Well, looks like we are on maximum volume, but frankly, the sound is kind of weak. Let's fast forward a little bit to see. Well, I think it's the problem with this MP4 file. They didn't compress the sound in enough bandwidth, so we're pretty much hearing nothing at all. Maybe I should just put my microphone a little bit closer to the speaker. Anyway, this file is not so demanding. It's not bigger than 1 giga in terms of size, and also it does not necessarily have the best compression quality. But anyway, at least we know that it handles, this tablet can handle 4K videos. Okay, right now it's time to test the camera right here. So as you can see, the interface hasn't changed one bit from the generic KitKat. So there's nothing quite special about it. But we don't have HDR mode, and no, we don't have panorama mode either. So don't expect much from this camera of the Pipo P4 because it's pretty basic stuff. Anyway, in terms of the reactivity of the autofocus, that seems legit, I think. Let's see how it performs in macro photography. Well, frankly, it's not that bad at all. At least it's better than I imagined. So the problem is that the exposure is a little bit too strong. I think that's the major problem. And also, in terms of the flash, we have tested in a rather dark environment. So turns out the flash is a little bit too strong for macro photography. So you might want to keep a little bit further away from the object. Otherwise, you might have photos like this one. So anyway, there's nothing quite special about the flash either. This is pretty much very basic stuff. Okay, right here we're gonna show you a couple of photos taken in exterior environment. So just for your reference. Okay, for the internet test, I'm not going to test the Wi-Fi this time because this is so cliche. Instead, I'm going to try the 3G dongle model. So right here I have a 3G dongle, and I'm pretty much on the China Unicom network. So let's see how it performs. Anyway, you don't have to worry about whether this tablet is compatible with your local operator or not, because in terms of frequency, it's not the tablet that decides, but rather the 3G dongle that decides what frequencies that is compatible. So right now, let's connect it to the tablet. Let's see if it does anything. Well, in theory, we should have starting to have the 3G connection by now, but this is kind of strange. Alright, I see the icon has lit up, so right now we do have 3G connections. So, what do? First off, let's see, okay. I gotta try this right here. I'm gonna try first off the Play Store. Well, maybe I should activate the proxy first. Alright, and then the Play Store. Well, this is kind of annoying, I should say. But anyway, okay. Maybe it's coming. Okay, I think I would just switch to another thing. Okay, let's try the Yahoo page. So we're gonna choose the generic browser. Well, it worked. Not bad at all, frankly. For the charging time, this is acceptable. For China standard, I should say. Okay, now we are more than a minute past, so we're still loading the page. Let's try another. So, okay, what am I looking at? Amazon. Well, this is fast. Oh, this is really fast. In fact, this is the desktop version of the site, so it's quite demanding. Anyway, let's try also our own website. Well, it looks like it freezes at some point. Okay. Still nothing. But right here, okay. Right now we pretty much have 60% of the content of the page. Still loading. Kind of slow, I should say. But anyway, our server is not based in China. So this is acceptable for China standard. Alright, at least you guys know that the 3G dongle network really does work on this Pipo P4, and you might want to look into the different dongle that supports different frequencies. So that's all for the internet test. And moving on, we're gonna do the gaming test. So as always, we pick a fairly demanding 3D graphic games. Alright, moving on with the gaming test. So as usual, we take a Alright, moving on with the gaming test. As usual, we took a relatively demanding 3D graphic game. So like this one, the Real Racing 3. So let's see. Well, at least in the manual, the graphics seems impeccable. And let's see how it performs in-game. Alright, this is a little bit laggy right here, but it's normal. Well, what can I say about the gyroscope? It works normally, but I can't say if it's accurate or not. But anyway, in terms of the, wow, this is very tense situation. Anyway, in terms of FPS, I don't think we have a problem. Already we have a very smooth running of the whole game. Alright. It always pumps up something funny. Anyway, it has nothing to do with the game, so moving on. Right, it looks like I will never get to the first place in this race, so I might as well put it like this. For gaming, I don't think it has any problem with most major 3D titles on Android. But I haven't tried the emulators yet, so we can't say that this is 100% a gaming tablet. But anyway, Android-wise, this is quite powerful. Okay, lastly, let's talk about the battery right here. So personally, I didn't do a stress test on this one, so I don't know for sure whether this battery is strong enough to satisfy the need of gaming or multimedia maniacs. But anyway, last night I've left the Wi-Fi on all night long, so up to this point we still have 68% of the battery. This is already impressive enough in comparison to the older generation of Rockchip processors like the RK3288. So the 3188 is not this good. So up to now we have passed more than 14 hours on battery, so this is what we are having right now, and clearly there's no other activity registered on this page, but we've done quite a few things for the test. And moving on with the battery monitor widget right here, there's nothing quite abnormal except for the battery temperature, which is not at all recorded. So I have to warn you that in games or in 3K videos, 4K videos, pardon, the battery can become a little bit hotter than expected, but rest assured this temperature is manageable. So anyway, that's all for the battery, and I don't think there's much to talk about. So I think it's time to say goodbye for this episode, but before I go, I would like to say a few words about this Pipo P4. Frankly, in terms of performance, I don't see many differences between the Pipo P4 and the P1. But personally, I prefer the look of the P4 because it's just way more badass with its dark colored body and a very rigid design. Well, talking about the design, there's one thing I would like to point out before I go, which is that you remember that they talk about this dual charging abilities at the very beginning on the packaging, which says that you can charge this tablet by connecting both the DC charging port and the micro USB port, which is right here, at the same time to speed up the charging process. Well, that might sound good, but there's one problem I found rather not so cool, is that why would they hide a micro USB port right here where its accessibility is limited by this cover right here? Because in my opinion, we should have put this micro USB port outside and put in this DC charging port inside. That would be more logical, because we need more accessibility for this micro USB port for two reasons. One, micro USB port is for data transfer, and two, it is for daily charger usage. So anyway, I think this is pretty much a major design flaw in this Pipo P4. So anyway, this concludes my test video on this Pipo P4, and I hope you like the contents of this video. Anyway, don't hesitate to give us a thumbs up if you like the content, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time.